Okay, let's do it. All right. So the first time I ever traveled or took a plane, actually no, scratch that. Let's go way back to the beginning. All right, so I'll go back to when I actually booked my first flight, right? So I never forget this. I was 22 years old, right? So was around 2011, 2012, right? And I was with my ex at the time, and pretty much she's been like she's traveled like all over. Like she usually go back and forth. She was from Grenada, right? So this was my first time flying, and I never forget this, man. So we go on cheapoair.com. So people who do book their flights, Cheapo Air pretty much got like one of the cheapest kind of deals, you know. So I'm kind of new to this, and I'm like, okay, what kind of flight should we get? The times and this and that, yada yada yada, man. And yeah, so we came together, we booked the flight. It was like looking like, I'm talking like a good 2 hours. It was 2 hours trying to look for a flight. So we found one flight that was pretty reasonable. It was one stop. So the first stop was in Puerto Rico, right? So, so I'm stoked, right? This is my first time flying. Like, this is my first time actually leaving the country. We were going to, I don't know if I said that earlier in the video, but, so we went to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, to some people, right, the U.S. Virgin Islands is still considered the U.S., but it's still kind of Caribbean in a way, right? To me, because I think they actually have two. They have like the U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands. Boom. All right. So we finally booked the ticket, and the day of the flight, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. No, I wasn't. I was big nervous. I was big nervous, right? And I remember for like, because we booked it like maybe months in advance. So I'm sitting there and telling my friends, I'm like, yo, listen, man, I'm about to go to, I'm about to be on a plane for the first time. So usually, most of my friends, they, some of them are from, they travel with their families and stuff like that. So it's like, really? This is your first time flying? Like, this is your first time actually on a plane? I'm like, yeah. So it was like, I'm trying to ask for for their advice and stuff like that. And they was like, well, you know how it goes. Well, the first time I took a flight, I was like 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? I was like 10. So that didn't really help. Right? So I figured, I said, yo, you know what, man? All right. I've thought about it. I watched a couple of videos. I watched a couple of movies with people on flights. Seemed pretty, just pretty simple and chill, right? So what happens is the day of the flight, right? So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I'm like, the heart is like beating. So at first, my ex, she's all like chilling and stuff like that, because like I said, she's from Grenada, so she goes back and forth on the plane all the time. Like, so to her, it's nothing. I mean, from what I thought, right? So get on the plane, and I believe this had to be Delta Airlines or American Airlines, one of those, right? So go through the bag check, everything, checking the passports and all that, right? Get on the plane. So now I'm sitting there like I'm sitting there and my mind is blown. I'm like, yo, this is really actually happening. Like, I'm on a plane with hundreds of people. Me on the plane for the first time ever at 22 years old. This shit is nuts, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right. I sit down, we found our seats, and it was like quiet at first. Like me and my ex, we conversating, we talking, whatever. But it was just very quiet and mellow. Maybe, I don't know, because, everyone else probably been on a flight before. So I'm kind of like trying to be like the cool one, right? I'm trying to be on some, all right. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I might be a city boy, but you know what I'm saying? Listen, this is nothing, right? So we finally do the initial takeoff, right? And to really describe how, like, people who've flown before, like, you see, like, the first takeoff is like, it feels like you're on like a roller coaster or something like that, right? I mean, like, you know, we started off slow. I'm on the plane and I'm like, all right, cool. You know, it's easing. You know how to, so you kind of like ease on the runway and then, you know, making the turns, making that right coordination to get, you know, for takeoff, man. And so I'm sitting like, all right, cool. My ex is fucking scared as shit. I'm sitting there looking at her like, yo, listen, you're the expert here. You are the expert of this flying shit. We both can't be nervous as hell. And she's like, yeah, but you know, she's talking her shit. And I'm like, yo, listen, you go back and forth to Grenada. You've been to California. You've been to all these places. This should be nothing for you. Like, this should be like, you could do this shit in your sleep. So then the fucking takeoff, like, we do the initial takeoff, and I felt like I was like on like a Starship Enterprise. Like, that's the best way to describe it. So I'm like the shit said zoom. So I'm just like, oh shit, like I'm getting like whiplash and shit like that, man. We flying up in the air, fucking 200 miles per hour, man. Like I was in a jet or something like that. Take off. There's a lot of turbulence, you know. Then I say about 10, 15 minutes later, we're in the air. Now, to describe how this feeling is like, it felt like as soon as I got in the air, I felt like I was at ease. Not gonna lie. You know, I felt like I was with the clouds. Like, I felt like everything was just so chill and relaxed. I really thought like I was gonna really like freak out because I'm actually scared of heights. I'm believe it or not, I am kind of scared of heights. But usually when I'm on a plane, like it's pretty mellow, you know. So, you know, my girl, my ex, she just sitting there like she just like sweating, she all nervous and shit. So I'm sitting there, I'm like. And I hate to sound fucked up, but I started feeling better. I was like, okay, I thought I was going to be the one that was going to, like, freak out and, like, be nervous and go to the bathroom. But it was just a very calming experience, you know? And I say this to anyone who's never flown before. Maybe, or you might be, you think you're afraid to fly. You know, it can be nervous because you're like thousands of feet in the air. You know, a lot of altitude. But you gotta think of it like this, man. Like, once you get past the initial takeoff, you know, of course it's gonna feel like, you know, but you just gotta tell yourself like it's gonna be alright. You know, it's gonna be okay. Like you can't. I know you gotta think. Of course, you're gonna think about it, and you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be racing through your mind like, oh shit, I'm in the air. But trust me, man, trust me. What I just say is just, you know, just relax. You breathe. So that's what I was doing. I was breathing. You know, and always if you're traveling with someone who is experienced, you know, always just have a talk with them. The best thing to do, right? I always say it's just to always have a conversation. Especially if you're flying with someone who's experienced or whatever. If you have a conversation, it's like it kind of takes your mind off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be something that, you know, maybe something funny or, you know, something that happened, like, you know, a long time ago, whatever, you reminisce about something. But always keep your mind occupied. So just have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, hey, sometimes if you gotta hold their hand, hold their hand. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, if you were the dude, listen, man, it's if you scared, it's it's not gay, man. Like it's your boy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you scared, like you need something to hold on because you're in like thousands of feet in the air. So if you're scared, listen. All right, grab his arm, and be like, all right, cool. But for the most part, just have a conversation. Just have a conversation about something. Just something about stupid, like something. Have a conversation about a show or something like that, or you know what I mean. And then once you in there, bro, like you won't even realize it. Like it's just like everything is just at ease. Everything is just moving like smooth sailing for me. And then, so then check it, right? So we get to Puerto Rico. So we had to get on another plane. Now this plane that we had to get on from Puerto Rico to U.S. Virgin Islands, it was actually much smaller. So I forgot what was the name of the plane they call it. What was the name of the plane that does? It's like a smaller plane. I don't know. It's like a carrier plane. I don't know. Let me not say the wrong name, or whatever. But so we had to get on this even smaller plane, right? And now this one, I'm not gonna lie. This one was it had a little bit of turbulence. It had a little bit of rockiness. And my ex was just like, yo, my ex was just bugging the fuck out because I think, I believe a storm was passing or it had just passed. So, you know, you see like a lot of dark clouds and a lot of, you know, but the thing was, right? So as I said, mind you, this is my first time on the flight. So I'm thinking like, yo, I'm gonna like shit my pants. I'm gonna freak out. I'm on this small ass plane and like I'm chilling. Like I'm just literally chill. Like I fell asleep a couple times. Like I'm chilling. You know, I'm looking out the window. I'm taking pictures of the clouds and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there like, yo, that's fucking dope. Like what? I was like, yo, I want to do this more often, man. I want to like fly more and get that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Overcome that obstacle, man, because I to be honest, I don't know if I was even afraid of flying. I think I was more afraid of flying because I'd never done it. And I think that's what it is. It's like the fact that you haven't done it yet or you never done it, and it's like you think about it, and that's what the biggest fear is. But in order for you to overcome that fear, you just have to do it. You just have to try it and just get it over with, man. And you never know. You never know. It could be the most soothing, most calmest experience ever, or it could be the worst, you know. And well, the best thing though, you just have to keep doing it. Have to keep doing it. With anything, you know what I'm saying? Once you learn something new or you start doing something more often, it's like it's easier for you now. It's more settling, and you can do it in your sleep. It's like it's nothing. Like now, I could get on a plane and I could just be like, all right, 2-hour flight, 3-hour flight. I'm cool. I'm chilling. Now, a 13-hour flight, I haven't done that yet. So I don't know. Let me not toot my own horn. But that would be, well, I think the next flight that I'm doing, because I'm going to Amsterdam next month. I think that flight might be 7 hours. It's a direct flight, so I'm not sure, but I do know this is going to be the longest I've been on a plane. So next month, this will be the ultimate test. And then after that, with Japan. Yeah, Japan. Japan is like a 12-hour flight, 11-hour flight. So that's going to be the big one. You know, let's see how long I last on that flight. But just to share, that was my first time actually flying, like traveling out of the country at 22 years old, you know? And I felt like it was I feel like the late bloomer. Like I feel like everybody else was like flying so early and, you know, 3 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old. And they're like 9 flights in. This is my first flight. Like my first flight at 22. It's crazy, right? Like, and then, you know, other flights, like I've been to Vegas, Texas and Kentucky and all that. It was nothing. Panama was a trip. But yeah, man. Yeah, it was my first time flying, man, and I never really shared that with. I've shared it with a couple of people, my parents and stuff like that. But actually, just share it with you guys. It takes a lot because I know it's a lot of people that was in the same boat as me. Like just hey, it's my first time flying, or I don't like flying, and I don't know what to expect, and this and that. But trust me, man, especially if you go with someone, or if you do decide to go by yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like you just conversate with somebody. Just conversate with somebody. You might have some people that don't want to talk. You might have strangers, but if you're just so happen to be lucky to be next to someone who is an experienced flyer, and you just you ask for tips, they'll give you tips, man. They'll they'll sit there and conversate you, and they'll like not walk you through it, but talk you through it. Yeah. They'll talk you through it, and next thing you know, man, you're gonna be like, yo, fucking 10 years down the line, you gonna be like, yo, I remember the first time, man, I flew, man, I bought me an extra pair of pants just in case, but that was my experience flying, man. So that's my time, man. Hey, make sure you subscribe, share, like, comment. Let me know what you thought, was your first time flying. Like, what was your experience like? Yeah. Let it know, be in the comments. And it's my time. I'm out. Later.